Hello, friends, and welcome back to Orbit Shift, a place where I work with you to take your thoughts, behaviors, and actions to the next level of impact. If you're curious about the topic that I chose to speak today, tomorrow happens to be Guru Purnima, a very important day in the Vedic tradition where our gurus and all our Guru Paramparas are worshipped. So I thought, let's also look at what Vedic wisdom has to say about leaders and managers and how they need to work with people. Now, for whatever reason, all Western leadership content typically teaches people who want to become leaders or manager to be very influential, to be visible, to be indispensable, to create those impacts, etc. Now, there is nothing wrong in bringing impact, but whatever teaches our leaders to be the center of all the attraction, that becomes a big challenge. Now, if I see a lot of the people that I have worked with now, about close to 30 years of my career, and that the last 20 years where I have worked with leaders in the leadership development space as a leader, running business, coaching leaders, I increasingly see that leaders enjoy this secretly sometimes and openly sometimes enjoy being needed. Leaders enjoy that important decisions are brought to them. They enjoy that they are consulted, copied, credited for many of the big things. Many times you will see that the team does something and the leader takes the credit. Now, you may customarily say that, oh, it's a team who delivered and all that, but much of that is lip service. If you look at engagement scores and if you look at feedback that a lot of employees and teams give their leaders. Now, yes, let's separate the good from the bad. There are leaders, several good, popular leaders who do something exceptionally different. However, a vast majority of the leaders today think that being visible, standing up for themselves, promoting themselves, building their brand is the only way that leadership can happen. Some of those are decent things to do, but may not be what leadership is all about. So, what does Vedic wisdom say? Vedic wisdom says that the highest leader does not make people depend upon his or her intelligence. The highest level of leader develops the intelligence, the character, the discernment, etc., of the people that they work with. The highest level of leader is a leader who grows other human beings. That is the true sense. In fact, today we are living in a world where a lot of leaders, when they don't want to spend money on their people, they say that developing yourself is your responsibility. It's not the organization's responsibility, and sort of has become the marquee word. Fewer leaders are spending time seriously coaching, mentoring, developing their people. It is in that space that I'm going to invite all of you leaders to take a second look at your leadership style and then look at how you are approaching other human beings. People around you will be far more engaged, far more connected, far more loyal to you if you acted a lot more guru-like in your leadership style as compared to the flashy Western-oriented leadership approach that you were looking at. So, what should a leader do? Well, continue being a visionary, continue delivering results, all of that. But here are 5 things that I recommend from our Vedic wisdom all leaders must do. By the way, these lessons are drawn from some of the best leaders that our history has shown us. You look at whether you look at the leaders like Rama or Krishna, or you look at great kings who have been out there. You look at Shivaji. You look at some of the best politicians and bureaucrats who are out there who have followed the Vedic wisdom. They have all practiced lessons like these. So here are the 5 lessons for you. The first one, an ordinary leader gives instructions. He gives the vision to people, whereas a guru-like leader builds or develops the discretion power, or what we call viveka, in their people, in their teams. When people learn what to do, what not to do, when people know what is the difference between the compass and the clock, when people know what is the difference between the urgent and the important, when people know what is profitable from a dharmic way, when people know the difference between short, medium, and long term, when people know when to keep quiet and do things even when they disagree, and when to speak up if they disagree with something, and so on and so forth. When they have that discretion, when they have the ability to discern between what to do and what not to, that's the time that a leader has created a significant impact in the life of people, which is when you will be creating independent thinkers. People are not naturally independent thinker. They may have an independent streak in them, but being an independent thinker, being a wise thinker, is a very different thing. Wisdom is very different from intelligence. There are too many intelligence people today, hardly any wise people. And this is where a leader's first real responsibility as a guru like leader is. The second one that I would invite you to do is to understand that an ordinary leader builds loyalty to himself or herself. A guru like leader builds loyalty to a dharma, to a purpose which is much larger than everyone, the organization also. That dharma, that purpose has to be looked at. In today's world, where a lot of organizations are built around just making money out of the impending opportunity that exists in the market and just capturing that opportunity and growing to billions, sometimes leaders don't understand dharma and purpose. Which is where you as a leader, if you can understand what is dharma and purpose and build the loyalty of your team and people to dharma and purpose, that will be a big one. How to really revolutionize a market segment, how to really revolutionize the lives of your customers or your clients, how to really bring greater standards of quality and efficiency or effectiveness in a particular industry. It could be so many things that you could do. Some could be financial and financial dharma and purpose. Something could be customer oriented dharma and purpose. Something could be an organizational capability based dharma and purpose. Something could literally be about how the organization is contributing to society and people at large. That kind of a dharma or purpose. There's enough and more that you can think of. The third one that I would invite you to do is an ordinary leader will protect his or her position. A great leader, a guru-like leader, truly prepares successors and moves out when the successors are ready. Now, this one is going to take a lot because a lot of people are in love with their power, position, money, and henceforth tons of those things which come. They really don't give chance to others. And that's where the real measure of leadership would be, that before your collapse happens, before the collapse of your capability, your ideas happens, can you pass on the baton to another who can take on what you have built? In business, we have often studied that the business has an inflection point and then it plateaus and then it declines. Almost all of us know this. That's how the life of all ideas are, business models are. Exactly when we are peaking, when we are about to plateau, can you as a leader hand on to future leaders and see if they can create the new cycle of business? That's intelligence. That's you following the natural laws of business. Can you do that? It takes a great guru leader to do something like that. Develop people and hand off or hand over at the right time before things have plateaued for the other person to start a new cycle. The fourth one, an ordinary leader transfers skills, transfers some sense of wisdom based on the past. A guru-like leader shapes the character of a person, shapes and builds sometimes a visionary, sometimes builds a crusader, sometimes builds a courageous person who can peek into the future, builds a futurist. That's the kind of character a guru-like leader builds. If you're only going to use your people to address the challenges of today and do lip service around the challenges of tomorrow or future, what good is it? Hundreds of thousands of organizations, especially the large ones who can spend money, talk about building a future-ready organization. How many are really actually future-ready is a question for which the jury is still out. Many of you who are in organizations know the truth of these kind of slogans. They are good when it comes to the town halls and the annual meets, But much of this never really happens because ultimately all leaders keep their people busy in delivering just the present. Very few organizations, very few leaders have shown the grit to shape the future. Are you one of that leader? And if you are, then you would focus on building the character of people, because that's what builds the future capability of an organization. The last one that I want to leave you with is that an organization, an ordinary leader wants followers at all points in time. Whereas a guru-like leader produces future leaders who others get attracted to. And in that process, people nevertheless just follow them. And that is the power that you need to create. So don't worry about how many people are following you. When you develop others, you will earn followers on your own. In fact, your reputation will be so much that even those who are not directly touching will start following you. So all of you leaders out there who possibly have learned those Western lessons of leadership, which is just work on influential ideas, visibility, indispensability, yada yada, managing upwards and managing the board and managing the street and all that. Here's a time for you to complete your leadership personality by taking on some of the most important Vedic wisdoms. You will be a decent leader, but you will get forgotten at some point in time unless you are a guru-like leader. Is there a guru element in you? If you have, then you will do these 5 things. Develop viveka in people, or wisdom. Develop loyalty to a dharma and purpose so that people can take the organization forward. Develop successors and hand off the business or role at the right time, and just before plateauing. Build character in people, especially towards the future of the organization. And lastly, truly actually produces a whole host of future leaders who can take on different responsibilities in the organization and take the entire organization forward. This Guru Purnima, I will invite you to ask yourself not how many people follow me, but ask questions like, who has become wiser by being with me? Who has been able to make difficult decisions by being with me and without me? Whose character has become stronger under my stewardship? What knowledge am I withholding or protecting for my own interests and preventing others to grow? These kind of questions are what you need to ask to step up from where you are as possibly a transactional leader today to truly being a transformational leader, which rarely leaders get to be. I hope this was a useful direction for you. Look at this as an important task in your life. If you really want to leave a legacy, leave good, solid leaders and future leaders who are anchored to Dharma. That's the biggest thing that you can do, not just for your organization, but for society at large. I will see you very soon with another idea like this. Till then, take good care, make good choices, help people, grow people. Thank you.